I know what you're thinking. You're really going to compare your wife to a motorcycle? Damn right I am. After years of marriage and even more years riding cruisers, I've learned a few things. Love isn't always logical, and sometimes it comes with handlebars. My cruiser doesn't talk back, doesn't judge, and never forgets an anniversary, because every ride feels like one. But then life threw me a curveball I didn't see coming. I found myself in the garage, staring down the two loves of my life. On one side, my wife, the woman who's weathered every storm with me. On the other, my chrome-coated Escape, the machine that's carried my soul farther than words ever could. And then came the ultimatum. It's me or the bike. I didn't hesitate. I reached for my helmet, because sometimes the open road understands you in ways people never will. So, yeah, I grabbed my helmet, not because I don't love her, but because sometimes love comes with a vtwin rumble and a full tank of gas, and the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Honestly, there are plenty of reasons why my motorcycle might just be the better relationship, and here are 11 reasons why. And hey, if you've ever felt like your bike understands you better than your partner, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with your own reason. Let's ride through this together. Reason 1. She's always in the mood to ride. Let's face it, relationships require effort, conversations, compromises, nights when "not tonight" is said more than you'd like to admit. But you know who never needs a warm-up talk or a glass of wine first? My V-twin cruiser. Rain, shine, dark of night, it doesn't matter. She's always waiting, patient, ready, sitting in the garage like a loyal companion, key in, polished up, purring softly like a mechanical goddess, whispering, "Let's go." I remember one morning, early, cold, still dark out. I had this sudden urge to ride into the mountains and catch the sunrise. Rolled over and nudged my wife. "Hey babe, want to go for a ride?" She didn't even respond, just pulled the blanket over her head like I'd asked her to clean the gutters. But my bike? She came alive on the first try. 10 minutes later, I was on the road carving through curves with a grin so wide my cheeks ached under my helmet. There's something magical, sacred even, about a machine that never tells you no. She doesn't need a reason, doesn't ask why, she just wants to ride. And that kind of devotion? You can't fake it. So if you've ever found yourself choosing throttle over therapy, or if your idea of quality time starts with an engine rev, you're not alone. So stick around, because this is just the beginning. Reason 2. No drama, just throttle. My cruiser doesn't play games, she doesn't throw shade, doesn't send cryptic texts, and definitely doesn't bring up something I said 3 months ago during an argument about throw pillows. She has one mood, ride, and one language, throttle response. You twist it, she responds. Twist harder, she roars. It's raw, honest, and predictable in the best way possible. There's no guessing, no decoding mixed signals, no emotional landmines. Just you, the machine, and the open road. Compare that to real-life relationships, where a simple slip-up like forgetting to put away the dishes turns into a full-blown debate about whether you're still emotionally invested. "Do you even love me?" she says, right after I made the effort to cook dinner for the night because I knew she had a long day. Meanwhile, my bike? She never questions my loyalty, never rolls her eyes, never gives me the cold shoulder. She's not hung up on the past, she just wants to move forward, fast. No guilt trips, no emotional tolls, just an open invitation to escape whatever nonsense the day threw at you. In a world full of overthinking and overreacting, she's a breath of fresh air and gasoline fumes. A steel-clad therapist that doesn't charge by the hour, just asks for gas and attention. She listens with every mile and speaks in RPMs. And that kind of no-drama connection is rare. So if you're tired of decoding moods and navigating emotional minefields, maybe it's time you spend more quality time with something that just gets you. Reason 3. Maintenance is predictable. If you've ever owned a bike, you know maintenance isn't a mystery. Oil change every few thousand miles. Check the tires, adjust the chain or belt. It's logical, it's routine, and most importantly, it makes sense. Now take marriage. Maintenance there? It's like trying to read tea leaves in a thunderstorm. Everything seems fine, until suddenly, it's not. And you're stuck playing the "what did I do this time" game over a dream she had where you cheated on her with her cousin. My cruiser? She's not like that. If something's off, she lets me know. Maybe it's a slight rattle. Maybe the throttle feels off. Worst case, a check engine light. But she's never vague, never passive-aggressive, and definitely never says, "I'm fine," when she's clearly not. I remember riding out to the coast once when she started sputtering halfway there. Pulled over, found a loose spark plug wire. 5 minutes later, we were cruising again. Problem solved. Try resolving a disagreement with your wife in under 5 minutes. Doesn't happen. You need a mediator, a notepad, and possibly snacks. What I love is that my cruiser's needs don't change with the seasons or her mood. She's not suddenly overheating because I forgot to compliment her outfit. She just asks for the basics: respect, care, and the occasional tune-up. Even when she breaks down, there's no blame game. She just waits, calmly and quietly, for me to figure it out. No yelling, no judgment, just trust. Simple, honest, predictable. The kind of maintenance I'll gladly do forever. Reason 4. She's always dressed to impress: jet black paint, chrome that catches every ounce of sunlight, a low-slung silhouette that turns heads in every parking lot. My cruiser isn't just a bike. She's a damn supermodel on 2 wheels. She doesn't need a new dress for date night, doesn't fish for compliments, doesn't change outfits 5 times before we leave the house. She is the occasion. From sunrise rides to late-night cruises, she shows up looking flawless, effortlessly. Even after a 300-mile haul covered in bug guts, road dust, and a few battle scars, she still looks like she belongs on the cover of Motorcycle Cruiser. There's a kind of raw beauty in that. Gritty, unapologetic, and confident. And you know what? She's never asked me once, "Does this make me look fat?" She doesn't need validation. She knows she's hot. Curves for days, lines that flow like poetry, and a presence that demands respect without saying a word. Every ride is a runway. She doesn't need accessories to feel complete. She is the accessory everyone else wishes they had. And when I roll up somewhere, people don't ask what I'm doing, they ask what I'm riding. There's power in that kind of presence. Quiet confidence, no pretense, no emotional dressing rooms. And the best part? I never have to wait an extra 45 minutes while she gets ready. I just fire her up, and she's good to go, dressed to kill, every single time. Reason 5. She turns heads, not her back. Now, let's talk respect. When I ride my cruiser through town, people notice. Heads turn, pedestrians wave. Fellow bikers give that subtle nod, the kind that says, "Yeah, you've got taste." Sometimes strangers even flag me down in parking lots just to ask, "What year is she?" It's admiration, pure and simple. Now, contrast that with the time my wife caught me glancing, just glancing, at a girl in yoga pants while pumping gas. That one sideways look sparked a 7-day Cold War, complete with passive-aggressive comments and silence you could cut with a knife. My cruiser? She lives for the attention. She wants to be seen. She doesn't get jealous. She doesn't get offended. If anything, she shines brighter when people stare. And when I park her next to a row of newer, flashier bikes, she doesn't sulk. She doesn't storm off in a huff or accuse me of trading her in. She just cools down, glistening with pride, patiently waiting for our next ride like the loyal steel queen she is. That kind of confidence, that kind of grace under pressure, you don't see it often, not in people and definitely not in relationships. She knows her worth, and she knows I'll come back every time because no matter what else is out there, nothing rides like she does. And best of all, I never have to explain why I was staring, because with her, staring is encouraged. If you're nodding along thinking, "Yep, my bike gets me too," don't keep that loyalty in neutral. Hit that like button so the algorithm knows you're part of the brotherhood. Subscribe for more unfiltered truth from the saddle. And hey, drop a comment below with your own me or the bike moment. We've all been there, and we always chose throttle. All right, back to it. Let's keep rolling. Reason 6. She doesn't ask where you've been. One of my favorite things in the world? Solo Sunday rides, no plans, no GPS, just a full tank, a loose sense of direction, and an open road calling my name. I'll disappear for hours, sometimes all day with no texts, no updates, and absolutely zero guilt. When I finally roll back into the garage, does my cruiser hit me with, "So, where have you been?" Not a chance. She doesn't check my mileage against the time I was gone. Doesn't raise an eyebrow if I stop for coffee, get lost on purpose, or take the long way home for no reason at all. She just sits there, quiet and calm, ready for whatever's next. Turn the key, and she says the only thing that matters, "Let's ride." Compare that to the time I was 30 minutes late coming back from the grocery store. One missing bottle of barbecue sauce turned into a full-blown interrogation. "Why didn't you answer your phone? Were you really just at the store? Do you think I'm stupid?" It wasn't about the sauce. It never is. But my cruiser? She doesn't keep tabs. She doesn't make assumptions. There's no silent treatment, no guilt trip, no emotional booby traps waiting for me. She gives me space to breathe and the freedom to wander, knowing I'll always come back. Because that's what the road does. It lets you go so you can return. Better, clearer, and a little more alive. Reason 7. She loves the open road as much as I do. The open road, that's where we bond. Not in some fancy restaurant, Not during small talk or scheduled date nights. Out there where the pavement stretches past the edge of the map and the only soundtrack is wind and throttle. We've carved mountain passes at sunrise, chased the fading light through cornfields, and gotten lost in desert highways that feel more like therapy than travel. No reservations, no itinerary, just the two of us and whatever lies ahead. And not once has she asked, "Are we there yet?" She's never said the seat's too hard or that the wind messed up her hair. Bathroom breaks? Please. She's built to go the distance, not take pit stops. When the storm rolls in, she doesn't flinch. She grips the road tighter. When the sun sets and the chill creeps in, she leans into it, just like I do. We ride together, no complaints, no distractions. Just focus, freedom, and the hum of shared purpose. The road is our church. The throttle, our hymn. And silence, that's where the connection lives. We don't need to talk. We understand each other. Every gear shift, every lean into a turn, it's a conversation only the two of us speak. And when the world feels too loud, too complicated, too demanding, she's the one who brings me back to center. No expectations, no demands, just the promise of a destination that doesn't matter as long as we get there together. Reason 8. She doesn't judge me or my friends. Every guy's got that one buddy. You know the type. Loud, unapologetically crude, and rides an old 85 Shadow that leaks more oil than it burns fuel. His jacket's torn, his helmet's scuffed, and his bike sounds like it's coughing up gravel every time he revs it. My wife, she can't stand him. Rolls her eyes every time I mention his name. Starts in with the subtle jabs. "You're really going out with him again?" Or, "You'd think grown men wouldn't still be doing that." But my cruiser, she doesn't care who I ride with, doesn't judge the company I keep, the time I get home, or the questionable diner we hit at midnight 2 towns over. She doesn't care if my buddy's bike is held together with duct tape and good intentions. She gets it, because real riders don't care what you ride, only that you ride. We ride as a pack. We ride as brothers. No status, no judgments, just rubber on asphalt and mutual respect. There's something freeing about that. A world where no one cares if your gear is last season's, your jacket smells like campfire, or your wallet's empty, as long as your tank is full. My cruiser gets that. She doesn't raise an eyebrow or give side-eye. She just nods like she knows this is the tribe. Reason 9. She's cheaper in the long run. Let's talk money. Sure, owning a bike comes with costs. Tires wear down, oil needs changing, parts need replacing. But overall, my cruiser is one of the most financially faithful relationships I've ever had. She's low maintenance, upfront about her needs, and never, ever surprises me with a treat-yourself kind of day. Now compare that to a traditional relationship. Date nights that start with a $14 cocktail and end with a $200 tab. Anniversary weekends at overpriced resorts. Birthday surprises that just had to be Instagram-worthy. Matching throw pillows that serve no function except matching. And don't get me started on the mysteriously multiplying shoe collection or the kitchen renovation we just couldn't live without. I once dropped $600 on a couple's spa day. Don't get me wrong, it smelled nice, but for that kind of money, my cruiser and I could have hit the mountains, camped under the stars, topped off 3 tanks of gas, and still had enough left over for new rear shocks. My bike doesn't want brunch. She wants torque. She doesn't need a scented bath bomb. Just a wash, a wax, and some premium fuel, and she'll purr like it's day one. And the best part? She never makes me feel guilty for buying something for myself. So yeah, dollar for dollar, mile for mile. My cruiser's not just easier on the soul, she's easier on the wallet too. Reason 10, she's built for comfort and performance. You ever sit on a fully loaded Goldwing or a big touring cruiser? Heated seat, armrest, backrest, cruise control, speakers in the fairing. It's like a lazy boy had a baby with a jet engine and then hit the open road with zero apologies. Cruisers are built for the long haul, fat tires that grip like a dream, suspension that eats potholes for breakfast, a wide saddle that welcomes your backside no matter how many tacos you had the night before. And the best part? She never complains about your weight. Ever. My wife gives me the side eye for getting a second helping of dinner. My vtwin? She just asks that I lean in when it matters and hold on tight when the curves get sharp. Long rides don't scare her, they excite her. She was made for the endless road, the forgotten highways, and the kind of journeys that don't end with a souvenir mug, but with stories you can't tell your boss on Monday. My wife complains about my snoring. My cruiser? She wants to hear it through my helmet over the rumble of the engine because it means I'm alive, I'm rolling, and I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. She doesn't need constant reassurance, just gas, open space, and a rider who knows how to treat her right. Reason 11. She respects silence. Not every moment needs words. Some of the best rides I've ever had were the quietest ones. Just me, the road, the rumble of the engine, and the occasional downshift that says more than any sentence could. My cruiser never asks, "What are you thinking about?" or "Why are you being so quiet?" She doesn't read into silences. She respects them. She gets that sometimes the deepest connection isn't spoken. It's written. We've shared hours of wordless miles just gliding through landscapes and letting the wind handle the conversation. No pressure, no expectations, no awkward small talk to fill the space. Just peace, man. Real, soul-soothing, engine-humming peace. She doesn't need validation or constant chatter. She knows that being beside someone in silence can be more intimate than 100 conversations. That kind of understanding? It's rare and damn near priceless. Now don't get me wrong, I love my wife. She stood by me through more than most would. But when it comes to unconditional love, forgiveness, and a ride-or-die attitude that never quits, my cruiser's got her beat. No shade, no disrespect, just facts. She's steel and chrome where my wife is skin and bone, but damn it, she gets me. And that's the end of my rant and my reasons when given the ultimatum, I chose my vtwin. But if you get it, hit that like button. And subscribe for more tales from the road, cruiser culture, and confessions from a man whose motorcycle may or may not be his one true love. And drop a comment below. Has your cruiser saved your sanity? Ever caught yourself whispering sweet nothings to a fuel tank? Well, you're not alone, brother. So, until next time, ride safe, ride hard, and we'll see you on the next ride.